Welcome back, Cozy Dreamlights. My name is Elle, and today I will be designing a garden exterior for the Wilted Cottage in the Forgotten Lands. Today I'll be going over how to create a simple yet cute cottagecore aesthetic to match the Forgotten Lands. By the end of this video, I hope you have some new ideas on garden decor and inspiration for the cottagecore aesthetic in Disney Dreamlight Valley. So this build is right next to my previous video on the witchy cottage, right next to it, and I have already placed down some maple trees, a lot of the Forgotten Lands trees to kind of close our build off. I wanted to separate the back of it because we will be doing a different build behind it. So we'll be focusing on the front of this build, and you can see that I have used Timon's level 8 friendship lanterns, and I've kind of rotated them in a way where they're like crisscross, and I thought it looked really cute. We'll be doing that again in the front of the build, but first I wanted to create a practical like pumpkin garden where I can actually harvest the pumpkins. We know that pumpkins are the money maker in Dreamlight Valley, so I'm going to be digging up the pumpkin patch, and you can follow along or you can go ahead and skip over this. It's almost Halloween, it's still autumn, and so I've really been focusing on my autumn core themed areas in my valley. And so pumpkins is something that I really wanted to focus on this month and likely next month too. So now that your pumpkins are planted, you can go ahead and water them. I'd use the miracle growth on most of them. I actually messed up on the left side, but I wanted to be able to showcase like what the build would look like at the end. But if you don't have the miracle growth elixir, feel free to just water them as normal. Now that our pumpkins are there, we can start adding decor. I was testing out different fencing, but I ended up going with the wooden fencing. It is quite expensive to craft with the dark wood. So if you don't have a lot of dark wood, you could use a different fencing here. A lot of like the more neutral brownish tones would work for this build. Next, I'm just working on filling in the holes next to the fence. And for the pathing, I'm going to be doing something very similar to my first ever Goofy build. If you scroll way, way back, like probably a year ago, I think it was my first tour video, I did like a type of like garden where I used the newer leafy path when we just got the bordered path to outline our little pumpkins. So if you wanted to see that in more of like a natural fall aesthetic, not in the Forgotten Lands, you can check out that video and I'll link it at the end for everybody too. But we can also go ahead and start adding our foliage elements and maybe a couple of the grass items. So I'll be using the beach grass and the sunlit plateau grass. Remember, get used to that duplicate tool. It is so helpful. I'm so excited that they implemented this. What a quality of life update. So my idea for the pathing that leads to the house is going to be a touch of magic item. I didn't really like the look of the normal like cobblestone path, like the rocky terrain that we have. So I'm going to be purchasing that rocky terrain from Daisy, and I will be making it a brown theme color to match our color palette. So just a disclaimer here, you know, this is a really simple design. You're just going to use one color, cover the entire thing, but Touch of Magic for me has always been like really glitchy. So if you'll see that like after I create the design, it changes a little bit. Like you can see like some pixelated areas and even some flowers, which is like kind of cool, but like it doesn't really look that great. But if you do save your game and then exit and then reload up the game, it should go away. But yeah, Touch of Magic in general becomes pretty glitchy. So you'll see that when we start decorating. But I'm just going to be layering the path like this. We'll probably make adjustments to it later, but I just want a singular path like down the middle in between the pumpkin gardens. So you can kind of see the glitch and how there's like weird pixelated images on these, but we're going to continue our decorating process throughout this, and then we'll just restart later and it does fix it. I'm just adding in more grass and some birch bushes. I'm not going to be doing too much because I don't really like to like completely like decorate the transitional areas until like later on to make sure that like we're not adding too much, just specifically for the item limit. So we won't be like linking anything. We might link like one of the rocky paths a little bit later around the left and right, but we're not going to link anything to our other builds because on the left side, I don't know what I'm going to do yet. And on the right side, I want to make sure that we have like our item limit down. So I normally do my transitional areas at the end and on stream. If you are interested in seeing me work on transitional areas, you can subscribe on YouTube. I stream here, I stream on Twitch. I've been a little bit more active on Twitch because we're trying to hit affiliate. I just need to kind of like put the hours in over there. But yeah, I do plan on streaming on Twitch probably within the next week, possibly working on transitional areas. So if you have any interest in that, go ahead and follow me over there. As always, I appreciate your support. So we're going to be doing the same exact thing with the lighting in the front, and it just makes for like a really pretty like smaller area. And then we're going to adjust our path here. I'm really pleased with how this is coming along, kind of like an overgrown type of vibe that we have going on. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start adding in more of like the smaller details, which is my favorite part. The decor, we'll use a lot of the fall items, pumpkins, cottage core like baskets, some of the potted plants, etc. I'm just going to kind of create a curvy path upward on the right and on the left to kind of get a vibe of like where I want the transitional area to go later on. This is still like pretty much a whip, but we're going to put it there just to kind of like know what we're going to be doing. I thought the benches would work here, but the space is a little bit too far. I think the one on the left could be cute, but I didn't want it to like take away too much from our cottage, so I ended up removing it. Okay, time to walk through our build and then we'll make any adjustments if we need to. All right, our wilted flower cottage garden is complete. It's definitely warm and cozy. It's a great addition to our forgotten lands, giving that warm palette. Let me know what you think of my design in the comments down below. I hope you enjoyed your time with me today. Thank you for chilling out with me. If you haven't already, consider subscribing so you can see more design inspo in Dreamlight Valley and various other cozy games. I hope you all have a lovely day and stay cozy.